there, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you're having a good week. We have sunshine here, guys. It is sunny and it's 40 degrees. That is a huge deal. I feel like summer is here. How pathetic is that? That's how cold we've got, that 40 degrees feels like summer. But it's a beautiful day. I hope you are all having a great day. I'm excited for today's show. We have LeAnn Moyers on, who is a social media and marketing consultant and works with one of our brands, Melrose International. And next week, we have Jamie Albert on, who is the sales manager for Punch, Lady Jane, Molly and Rex, and they also have their new brand, their new collection, which is Kelly Green. So she's going to be on next week, especially to talk about Kelly Green because it's new and it's exciting. And if you haven't seen that yet or checked it out, it's great product. So check that out. Join us next week. But for now, we're going to go ahead and jump on with LeAnn. Let's get her on here. All right. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And you know what? It's warm here too.
Oh my goodness.
It's like 37 and I walked outside today without a coat on. What is wrong with me? It's 37 degrees. I don't have my coat on.
I know, but that's what happens. I mean, we've had in the negatives and everything so recently that now is just warm. Everything feels warm. I'll take it. I'm scared to look at the weather report to see if it's going to go down again. So
it's all good. It's all good from here on out.
Okay, there we go. I'm not even going to look. So go ahead. I would love to have you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and then we'll get into, everything you currently do.
I always say that everything in my career has been accidental. Like one thing has led to the next thing, and then I end up being a marketing consultant in social media completely accidentally. It was not something I planned when I was in college. I do have a degree in marketing and business, but when I got out of school, I went to work for a newspaper, and I was a sales rep. And I thought, I'm going to make these great ads that are going to make all the difference in the world to these businesses in my community, and I'm going to be able to do this wonderful stuff with print, and this is going to be fantastic. And I worked on the job about 6 months, and I realized when you work in advertising, you have to build an emotional connection, and building an emotional connection through print is the hardest thing to do. And so I learned quickly, I'm in the wrong sales advertising business. And so I started applying at the local television stations and radio station groups, and I got a job at the radio station group. And from there, I didn't look back because you can go into a store or retailer and you can just sit down with them and say, okay, who's your target market? Who are we looking to have? How many of them can we have in the store at one time? How are we going to do this and get these people in here? And I started really focusing on writing good copy and finding ways to make a connection, not for myself, but for the retail store through the radio station listeners, and so that then they could connect with one another. And so I spent the next 12 years working in radio and kind of worked my way up, and then, I don't know, it's kind of weird, like everything kind of accidentally happened. Like I kept focusing on finding ways to make that emotional connection and help my customers and my clients do that better and faster and quicker. But also, then eventually I had sales reps working for me, and I had to teach them how to do it, which was even harder to do. But I ended up like learning from small businesses, but I really learned the lessons from the big businesses. So the car dealerships, the cell phone stores, the big chain grocery stores, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Pepsi was one of my accounts, and Ford was one of my accounts for many years. And when you work with those agencies, you learn a lot about marketing and advertising. And if you've ever sat down with your financial advisor, one of the things they tell you is the only difference between billionaires and your account is the zeros at the end. And the same thing's true with advertising. It doesn't matter if you have a $100,000 budget or if you have a $10,000 budget. You still have to grow it and have a return on your investment, and you still have to be really good with the rules of advertising. So, how did I end up as a marketing consultant for Melrose? Total luck. I have 3 children, and when my youngest was born, I left the radio group. Kind of sad because I built this wonderful career. But the grocery store chain that I worked for many years said, we really would like for you to stay on and help us. And I thought, help you do what? Exactly. And so they said, this is back, Katie's 15 and a half, so, maybe 15 years ago. And blogs were big.
Yes.
Have you ever done a blog?
Yes.
And blogs were pretty big then, and people were just kind of starting to get onto YouTube and Facebook. The grocery store chain didn't have a Facebook page yet.
Okay.
And they said, we kind of think that the future is going to go into the social media. Can you take advertising that you've done in radio and can you apply that in social media? I thought, I don't know, but I could sure try, especially if you're going to hire me. You know, and so I kind of did what a lot of retail stores this year did. You're kind of thrown into it. And so 2020 comes along and we threw a lot of retailers that had never, they didn't need it. You know, if you wanted marketing, you just went and you bought it. You bought it from the TV station, the radio station, the local newspaper, you know, and you worked with your sales rep and you said, okay, here's my budget. I'm going to spend this amount of money marketing myself, and I don't have to do it. Well, then all of a sudden, when your doors are closed, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And you said, you know, when we were talking off air, you had to go find a platform to be able to use, and you had to make a decision, you had to buy.
Yep.
Fast, right? You know, and so I did that back then, and I was lucky because Bathed in Fire, I had learned how to do social media marketing, and I've been doing it for a while. But these stores in the last year, you guys have had it really hard because you've had to do it all, and you had to do it when the numbers were crushing you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, some stores have definitely been on the ball ahead of this past year, and are, you know, we're already very solid and comfortable with social media, and they definitely kind of got to take a boom because they had a head start, you know. But yes, there are certainly a lot of stores that jumped in or really committed this year, you know, and we've had I've talked on this show about this, that we've had a social media, I believe since our company started 10 years ago, but we were always kind of like casual about it, you know, and it was there, but it wasn't like a focus. And this year, you know, it was like we couldn't see any of our customers. We wanted so badly to help them and to connect with them. And the best way to do that was social media. So we really committed, you know, hardcore and brainstormed and planned about it and everything this past year. And it's been a whirlwind for us, just as well as the retailers and everything. So you have been on this social media ride for the last 15 years, which means you've seen it. I mean, the way that social media has evolved, because I did have a personal platform or a personal account on the platform. I remember when it was connected only to colleges, and I remember the day that my college got linked to Facebook, and I think I was I can't remember, freshman or sophomore in college.
Experience.
And I jumped. I mean, I remember all of us being like, we got Facebook, guys, and jumping on, and we had our personal accounts, and, you know, but you were really only within your college, and then it has just exploded from there. So you've seen this, you know, evolvement, and gosh, now it changes, I feel like, every week.
I think really technically every 3 months they come out with some hard changes. And I don't know if you've been working with it. Some of the retail stores you probably notice this. You're doing something the same way every day. And then all of a sudden you wake up and you go, well, that button doesn't work anymore. What happened? And about every 90 days, Facebook will change the rules. You know, and they'll consider it a technological upgrade, and they're going to make things easier for the user. I'm always going, you know, they change everything, you know, and but that's pretty normal. I mean, that's pretty normal. And I think I started seeing that maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. Pretty much every 90 days they're going to change the rules on you.
So is there anything that you do? Have you figured out, do you have a place to go, or is there a way that you learn about what the change is or how to deal with the change, or do you just kind of mess with it and figure it out?
I kind of mess with it and figure it out, but there have been some changes, especially in the past, where they were very detrimental to whether or not my account's ads were being seen or not. And when they made those changes, and really, if I look back on it, when Facebook decided to monetize, when they started selling ads, that's when it really changed. Before that, Facebook was a gold mine. You could go on there, all you had to do was get people to like your page, and everybody liked your page because, well, they like you. You know, and it was easy to network, it was easy to grow really fast. But then they started taking accounts off when you didn't use them quick enough. And when they started, and people didn't realize that was even happening. They're like, well, wait a minute, I haven't seen a post from, Camille in like 3 months. Where has she been? Is she gone? Is she still my friend? And with pages and with business pages, they started changing that quite a bit. And that was really scary because we had spent a lot of time and we had developed and we had these thousands. The one store I work with had 180,000 and it dropped all of a sudden to like 130,000 and you lost 50,000 active users of your page. And that was scary. And you had to figure out, okay, how did we lose them? How do we get them back? And how do we do it fast? And so they wanted to, at that time, push moving from photos to videos. And so you learn that we're kind of like little dogs, and we want little dog biscuits. Because if Facebook will give me my 50,000 people back if I use videos, I'll put on a video every single day.
That's right.
And so when they change the rules, you kind of have to figure out what is it they want, and then how do I give that to them so they'll reward me back with giving me back access to my people.
It's crazy. So speaking of videos, you with Melrose definitely do a lot. You work with the Melrose marketing team, and you create a ton of content. And it's a mix of videos and pictures.
You do little content with Melrose. I think Melrose, when I sat down and interviewed with them, well, first of all, Janet, we talked about Janet. She's in the marketing team, and she's somebody that I was friends with for a long time. We used to go to quilting classes together, and she knew me, and she knew I worked from home and did social media, and she goes to work for Melrose, and she said, we don't have anyone doing social media for Melrose. You've got to come in. You got to come in and talk to them. And I was like, I don't want to. I've got enough accounts. I don't want to go talk to another new one, especially when I don't know anything about. And then she's like, no. You've got to. The products are beautiful. The people are really nice. You got to come in here. We have no social media. It's like a blank slate. You can come in and work with it. So she finally got me in there in 2018, and I remember going, well, give me your access codes to all, so I can go through and I can start combing through your data and see where you're high, where you're low, what you need. They couldn't find passwords. So we really kind of started from scratch. We really had to figure out how to even get in there first. But now we're doing more and more. So what you're seeing, yes, we're doing more video because video is more effective than just flat photos. And we still have flat photos because we have beautiful catalogs. And so the photography is available to us, and I can use those for extra little times in time periods that aren't hot. But you'll see the videos all running in the times that are ones we need. So yes, we're growing. We're constantly growing and adding. But you have to learn all along the way. So even though I started 2018, it's only 2021. It's still pretty young.
Yeah. So you just gave a tip though, that you look at when times are hot and when times are not so hot, and you make sure to place videos on those hot times and then fill in the quieter times with the pictures.
Correct. Because you can still reach people. Just because your store is open from, let's just say you're at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. And you think, well, that's when I'm going to reach my customers. Not necessarily. Your customers might be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. when they put their kids to bed and they have time to sit down and watch a video. And most all my businesses, and I should probably have told you, what kind of businesses. I work with grocery store chains still, and they also have convenience stores, but an appliance store, a bank, a travel agency, a cannabis dispensary. I have a wide range of clients that I've worked with, and not everything. I have one that sells T-shirts. They're a wholesaler of T-shirts, and that's what they've done for 20 years. So they all have different objectives, and so I would assume the people watching your show right now, some of them might be in tourist areas, some of them might be garden centers, some of them might be gift and decor. So you might have different goals, but some of these things still apply. So if you go into your insights into Facebook, and we're talking Facebook right now because it's the easiest, but you have insights in Instagram as well, you're going to know what the highest traffic periods are going to be on those platforms. And yes, you can place something anytime. We talked about doing this at noon, but we know most of the views are going to come tonight.
Yep.
But we're not going to bury it at 8 o'clock in the morning because we know that social media wants to know what's happened in the last 6 to 8 hours, or they're going to consider that old news and it's going to fall to the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
But we got to make sure that if our top time period is at 8 p.m., let's try to sandwich that in there so that we can get the largest amount of people to happen to scroll by us, maybe stop and look at us.
Okay, that's a great tip. So let's touch on picture quickly, and then we'll move on to video. But pictures, phone camera versus real camera DSLR.
Okay, so it depends on if you're going to do a lot of editing. So if you're going to take your photos off and you really want to do a lot of editing on them, you're definitely going to want your digital, hard, old school camera to work with, because you're going to be able to drag it into software programs and really work on it. On your phone, I don't know about you, but I get my phone out and I'm like, I can't do that. I want to cut this piece off and I want to cut that piece off. If I'm going to edit, I can't really edit well on my phone. I just can't do it. But most, I'd say 99% of the things that I post for the grocery store every week, I do on my phone. Because I don't do any editing. If I screw it up, I just re-record it. You can just delete it and do it over. And especially if you're just doing photos, just shoot 2 or 3.
Right.
And then pick your best one, and then maybe just crop it and have it ready to go. I think we get hung up on thinking that we have to have catalog quality photography to put something on our page, and you do not. As a matter of fact, most people don't expect that. They want to see a little personality. They want to see a little bit of that social connection. We were talking about my dog, and I said, well, my dog might make it into this video. I don't know what his problem is. I think he hears your voice and he likes you. But it's a little bit of personality, and you make that connection just a little bit, and so it's not a bad thing.
Right.
To have that. I would definitely... just plan on using your phone, especially if you have to invest in something. Don't invest heavily. And if you want really good catalog quality photos, I know like Melrose has Melrose Picks.
Yeah.
And that's available, and there's no logo, and there's no watermark.
Yeah, that's a really great point that, anymore, most of the vendors are happy to give you access to their high quality, pictures of their products. And you're free to use them on your e-commerce sites and social media and all of those things. So that's a really good tip. If you are using your phone for pictures, of random things throughout the store, do you use filters or?
Generally, but I know that sometimes you have lighting area problems. So even with Janet and I going through the showrooms, there's a back room there, and I don't know how we're going to shoot this. I just don't know how we're going to shoot this. It's so dark here. And, even with the track lighting that we have everywhere, well, the track lighting's on the products, not necessarily on us or where we're shooting. And so sometimes we'll run into a little bit of trouble with that, and we just try to work around it. And if it's in your store, here's one thing I would recommend. Taking your social media to the next level, notice really fast that you have to have a staging area.
Yeah.
So there has to be one area in the store where everything is built that is perfect for you to do a quick little video or a quick little product spotlight that's ready to go. I like to have a table or work surface at countertop height. Now, I don't always have it. At the grocery store, I'm standing in the middle of an aisle. I love to go over by the coffee shop because they have those nice little tall tables that I can work from there, and I can show something on the top of it. But if it's your store, build your displays with something that draws people into the photo. And so making sure that you have your risers set up, your track lighting is in the right spot. Where you're going to stand. Don't forget, don't build this beautiful, I go into the showroom from Melrose, and it's gorgeous. And I say to Ken, where are we standing? And he goes, I don't know. Because we forgot.
Yeah.
We forgot to leave room for us, and we have to be in there too. So when you're doing it in your store, take a look. Put a little piece of tape on the floor if you have to, Scotch tape, so that you remember I'm standing here. I need to build everything around this way so that I can show and I have things within my arm's reach that I can grab too.
That's a really good idea. Okay, so we touched on photos. Now I want to move over to video, because you said, and I think most of us know at this point, that video is the thing. It is video gets more views than pictures, and people tend to stay on video more. So I've noticed you guys have you've done live videos. You've done live videos when there's no one in the showroom, and live videos during market when you have full showrooms. You'd have anywhere from long videos to 30-minute videos to 5-second videos of, short product snippets. So I guess my first question I'll touch on is live videos versus pre-recorded videos.
Well, the algorithm on Facebook and Instagram both treat them differently. So they're completely different products. And so when you're putting together your mix of what you're going to do, you're going to have some static photos. You're going to have some videos that are uploaded, and they really want you to use Creator Studio now. Like, they will reward you with extra views if you use Creator Studio. You can use it on any other platform that you have, or you could go to Facebook and then go to your page and then just upload it. But if you go into Creator Studio and take the time, they'll reward you. They'll give you an extra 1,000 views for this account, or 500 for that account. I mean, I get so mad at them, because they manipulate me. But we do vary it, and sometimes one of the things that I notice with live video, and the reason to do live video is it works the algorithm completely differently. So let's just say Melrose has 5,000. We'll just use that. Your store has 5,000 followers. Okay. When you're live, that little button will pop up on the corner of your screen right there when you're working, and it'll say, "This account is live right now," and that brings people to immediately go over there and see what's going on. Now, they can join you 20 minutes into that live video. They can join you 2 minutes into that live video. When I work at the grocery store, they always try to get me on 30 minutes to 45 minutes because they find that they really get the largest return net of grabbing people out of there when you can be on that long. Now, I know the gal that works at the radio station still, Heather, she does every single day of Facebook Live, and she does it at 10 till 8 in the morning. She's only on for 4 minutes. Wow. 4 minutes every day. And she does it because then what happens is, as it sends that notification to people while they're on and you're live, which is important, but then it lets them know throughout the rest of the day, hey, they were live. Did you want to go see it? Hey, they were live. Because it treats that video differently than it does a video that you've uploaded through Creator Studio. If you're afraid of live because it's live, you can't take it back. Sometimes I want to. But it really does treat it differently, and you're going to reach a whole different group of people. So when you just do a regular video upload, it's going to go in front of people that have liked or commented in the past in the last, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. If you haven't liked or commented, you're not going to see it. So when we get ready to go to market and we've got 5,000 followers, we don't want to reach the 500 that follow us and like and comment all the time. Right. We want to reach all 5,000. And that takes multiple live broadcasts and make sure to move them around at different times. So when you're talking about sometimes there's people actually in the showroom, and we have to be really careful with COVID. I'm having to, get away. I have to regularly push people, don't go over there. She's talking with the mask off, and so I have an angler for that. And then I have Janet that's recording me at the same time. But we're doing it all just to try to make sure that we're reaching those followers and we're getting everybody.
Yeah. So how do you handle when you are doing a show with a lot of people around, juggling all of the noise? Because you guys have the sound from the music from the speakers above, as well as the customers in the showroom and everything. And I know that a lot of our customers, do lives throughout the various points of the day. I've, seen, and I personally have done conversations with customers, with, retailers, while they have people in the store and everything. Do you have any tips or tricks of how to juggle?
Well, we bought a wireless lapel mic to do January shows. And the problem was we would all of a sudden get kicked off, and it would just cut out on us, and we would have no sound. And then we're like, well, do we do it without, or do we have to make a split decision right now? What are we going to do? And I'm like, well, I can try to project as best as I can. Yeah. But if I'm trying to be louder than the furnace system, louder than the music that's in the background, louder than the customers on the other side of the showroom, it takes a lot, and I'm doing longer. I'm trying to hit that 45-minute mark for them every time that I'm doing a Facebook Live. And I don't recommend that for stores, by the way. If you're a store owner and you're freaking out because you don't want to do a 4-minute live, it's okay. You can work your way up to that. Just start with the 4 minutes and then try to get there. I think Janet and I decided that we're going to go old school the next run, because we had tested everything to work great, but we couldn't test it with the Wi-Fi in that room. So in your store, you'll be able to test with your Wi-Fi and see if it's going to drop out on you. But we're going to go old school and do wired it directly into her camera next time and see if that works a little bit better.
Okay. I have also seen some people use the earbuds.
Yes.
And those, I think, filter out a lot of noise, too. Okay, so you talked about the longer videos, the 5-second videos. Those are cool because they're kind of, they're almost like a picture, but not.
It's like a moving picture.
It's a moving picture. Yeah,
it's a moving picture. And you know what? If you've got pictures, you can do that, by the way. With any cell phone, you can just make your own moving picture. 5 to 6 seconds is a GIF. And so you want to make sure you're hitting that 6-second mark. You notice they're all 6 seconds. And so Quentin is our new photographer on staff, and he went with us to Atlanta. And I said, you know, we call that B-roll, camera shooting B-roll. And I said, when you go around, I want you to hit these collections, these items, because I'm going to need to go back, and then I have to make sure that I'm splitting the social media content between the longer format videos, the things we're doing for retailers, and we have to have those product spotlights that are around 6 seconds, because that will reach, you know, 3 and 4 times as many people as having the static photo. And he's a photographer. He does static. He's like, I do such great camera work with a static camera. And I'm like, yes, but I really need the video.
Yeah.
That's but he did a great job, and he did those, and I'm glad that you noticed them. And in any store, by the way, anyone that's listening right now, you can do the same thing. It doesn't have to be long. You know, there you go.
Quentin, your moving photos are beautiful. So he's does a great job. They're beautiful.
Yeah, doing great. Yeah, doing great.
Okay, or interaction, comments, likes. I noticed in one of your videos that you did on Melrose page a while ago now, you had given the retailers a tip that the loves do better than the likes. So you had thrown out there, you know, if you want to show some love to your fellow business owners, you recommended to do that. Is that still the strongest?
It's still something that they just Facebook likes whatever their new toy is, and so when the emojis changed and they kept, we've got emojis. Let's reward people if they get more wows or angry. I mean, even angry. You know, but this kind of goes back to I wrote this down. Award-winning copywriting all goes back to making an emotional connection and getting people to respond emotionally. And emojis are just a graphic image of how they're responding emotionally. And so when people say social media is all brand new type of advertising, it is not. It has been around forever. You can get an advertising book from the 1950s and the rules still apply. You still have to get people to either be envious or desirous, or to love something, or to be angry. And if you look at those emojis, they just took the top ones. The only one missing is sex. You know, so sexy ads sell. You know, that's why you see a lot of sexy car commercials. And sometimes you even see sexy actors or actresses that are endorsing a product. And it's because sex sells. Now, can your store go out and do that? It's a little bit tougher to slide that in tactfully. But love, desire, and envy are things in the gift industry that are very, very important. And yes, Facebook has just taken that one law of advertising and said, let's make it really simple for them to tell us which emotion that we're plucking right now. And they're going to take that little picture, and then at the same time, we'll then say, well, this is a more important post, let's show it to more people.
Okay.
And that's what you want. And so when I say, show me the love, in a video, it's because of that. Because we want the wows and the love. We don't like any of the crying. Don't send me crying people. I don't want any crying people. But we do want to have that kind of thing developing. And then I say the next thing is comments.
Yeah.
Because the next step up is comments. And they give comments a much higher ranking than likes.
So how do you encourage viewers to comment, to like? I know that some retailers do lives and they really encourage sharing. Do you have any suggestions on how to encourage that?
I do. I'm very successful at the grocery store with this. And so one of the things I like to say is I dumb it down for all audiences. And so you don't want to say, which of these, what do you feel is the most important part of this new Christmas tree? Because it's too open-ended. They can't decide. You have to make it simple for them. And you have to say something like, I saw your Christmas tree at Christmas with your metal snowflakes, the white and the red. Okay. So I would say something like, I just decorated my Christmas tree. It's fantastic. My kids love the red and the white. Do you prefer the large snowflakes at the top of the tree, or do you think it's more important to have the ornaments placed inside the branches? Now we've given them 2 different things that they can decide, and it's not overwhelming. And then they'll be like, I love the snowflakes. And somebody else will say, I like the ornaments. And, they'll kind of play off of each other a little bit. But I have to narrow down that field. But I also can't give them all the information. So I can't say, this is my beautiful designer tree with all the snowflakes on it and the gorgeous ornaments that are tucked into the branches. What's your other tip?
Okay.
Because they're going to go,
right.
I don't have another tip. I have nothing, you know. But you have to kind of softball it for them and have it ready for them so they can then just jump right into the conversation. The grocery store does fantastic. I told Janet the other day I had 68 comments on peanut butter and jelly. You know, and it's like, peanut butter was on sale, that's great. Would you rather have blackberry or raspberry jam on your sandwich? If you had to pick between only blackberry and raspberry, which would you pick? And people went crazy for it. Now on Melrose, it's a different story. I can show 2 lanterns and say, which one do you like? And they'll just be like scared to death to comment on Melrose. And yet I can see that they'll click on the link and that they're interacting with it, so it's good content.
Right.
I can't get Melrose people to comment. They don't want to put it out there. So, you know, it kind of depends on, and I think maybe part of it could be because it is a wholesale account.
I was going to say, yeah, B2B versus B2C, there's definitely a different type of interaction there because, you know, we're right along with you. We're B2B, and it's a different type of interaction. But I think those are really good tips to give our retailers of how to encourage the comments. Do you often encourage sharing of the
Well,
posts?
it can. I mean, you know, it's tough to get sharing. It depends on the account. You know, I definitely went on County Market. Like, I throw my husband under the bus all the time. My husband and I are trying to decide if we're going to have pork chops or steak. Which should we have? I think we should have this. My husband thinks this. Share it with your husband and find out. Because we know at the grocery store, 95% of the followers are female.
Yeah.
You know, there's a good chance they may or may not have a spouse. There's a good chance they may or not be male. But there's a better than average chance that they'll go, oh, okay, and they'll share it. And even if they just share it in Messenger, again, that's what the algorithm rewards. And so I don't even care if it's a private share. If it's shared, it's better, and that post will all of a sudden, you know, especially with the numbers we're working with over there, you know, am I going to reach 200 people or am I going to reach 20,000 people? And the shares make that difference.
Okay.
So yes, I do encourage shares. I mean, if I had any retail site, I would definitely be encouraging shares. Another thing you can do to encourage shares is give some kind of content tip or information that they can't get anywhere else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, garden centers, you know, right now it's cold. We just came out of a cold week, right? So this would be the great time to have, here's 3 tips that we're going to give you this week. And then, do you know someone who would benefit from this information? Share it with them.
Yeah. Those are great tips. All right. Also, I want to remind everybody, in your videos and everything that you do, make sure you always end with a call of action.
Yes.
To either, you know, go onto your e-commerce site and, you know, place the orders through there, or come into your store at certain times or for certain events. It's always important to, you know, make sure you're throwing in that call of action to your viewers. All right, I want to take a couple minutes to touch on Melrose product, because you've gotten the chance to see the beautiful product. I was so sad I didn't get to go. I haven't gotten to go to the last couple shows because I'm stuck in my house, but it's all right. Now that my husband got the vaccine, I think I can have a little bit of a life. So I will be at the next show. Yes, I'm very excited. But you've gotten to see and work with so much of the product over the last year and everything. And can you tell us, well, one of the things that they do that I love, and I think that our retailers really should pay attention to, is you guys do these great tree recipes for all of the themed trees. And, you know, make it so easy and accessible. And this year it's more easy and accessible than ever, because you've done the videos and then the for each, you know, theme of tree, as well as there's a you know, place on their site that you can go just to order specifically for that tree recipe. It's a really great idea that the retailers could also, you know, take and create their own tree recipe for their customers too. But yeah, you've done a lot of those videos and put in.
You know, I'm glad that you watched it, because what I ended up doing is, Melrose said, here's what we want you to do. We want you to go, we want you to do the Facebook Lives, and we want you to walk through each collection, and then we're going to give you free reign to do the Melrose retailer videos, and they can be short, a minute to 2 minutes a piece, or product spotlights. And I said, great. And then I came back, and then I realized Janet was working really hard on the Tree Recipe catalog, and I went, why didn't we shoot separate videos for Tree Recipes while we were there? I could have done it perfectly. It wouldn't have taken me that long. I had to learn the product that's on the tree and where it's at, and that's about it. But I went back and I took them out of the Facebook Live videos. Really? And so that's a really good piece of information too. If you do Facebook Live, it automatically saves into your video file on Facebook. Then you can download that video out and you can share it over to Instagram, or you can share that over to your YouTube channel, or whatever you want to do. Or you can take it out, put it on your laptop like I did, slice it all up, and create a tree recipe.
There you go.
That's how we ended up doing that. But a little bit different. I'm glad that you noticed that. I'm glad that you noticed that we did do the videos, and I think next time I will do them separate and more designed for that. But we even talked about doing for the summer for Home and Garden, doing on trend in each collection. And so if you're in your store and you want something like a tree recipe, again, pick that area in your store with good lighting and build a display with your staging and know where you're going to stand, or know how you're going to shoot it. If you don't want to be in the video, you don't have to be in the video. And I tell Janet all the time, hey, Janet, I'm a fat chick. Stand over there and make sure you don't get me, bending over to pick something up or looking at something on the bottom shelf. It's not about me anyway. It's about the product. So I don't have to always be in every shot. But you can do that in your store, whether it's a tree recipe or get the look. Or, trending looks from XYZ store on Main Street, or, whatever you want to come up with for your own name of that. And then just whatever you have, then you can take it. And I just use Premier Rush, and then I just put my item numbers so that people know how to use it. You have to have your call to action. Well, the same thing's true when you're using video to sell retail product. It's great if you can have somebody watching it, but they have to know what to ask for when they call the store, or they email you, and they say, I want that one thing. And you go, oh, really, which one thing? The one thing that's really cool that I really, really want. And you go, well, how would you like that one really cool thing wrapped? You just don't know. And so you've got to have some kind of a description in there that they can ask for specifically. That brings me to something that I really wanted to talk about today, if you've got a minute. I've got to detour a second. When we were in Atlanta, we had a store lady come up to me, and I didn't know her. I was just getting ready to go live. I was like 2 minutes away from getting ready to go on my first live, and she goes, I have to tell you, we changed everything we did in our store. Our store sales are up 300%. We're now selling off of Facebook. We never did that before. And here's something we started doing. And she started getting in an item. And when she ordered it from the catalog, but before it got to her store, she started talking about the item, and then by the time it would arrive, they were already sold.
Oh my goodness.
I said, really? Tell me more about this. Quick, I got 2 minutes before I go on if I need to know more. I don't know what her name is or where her store was, because by the time she got finished talking to me, she went on shopping, and I was doing a Facebook Live. But I was thinking about that, and I thought, you can do anything you want in your store.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the product. You can say, hey, I just went to market. These are coming in October. This is what it's going to look like. You can sit there with your catalog if you want to. You can say, I've got this thing coming. You can get the pictures off of Melrose pics and show them and do like a picture-in-picture on your screen. And you can say, this new glitter twig tree is coming in with LED lights. I think it's going to be fantastic sitting outside your front door. I've got 12 of them coming. Let me know if you want one.
Yeah.
And then even if it's coming in October, your first 12 are sold, and you can buy 12 more.
Well, I was just going to say, with Melrose and most vendors, you can let your rep know, hey, I've already sold out of, the quantity that I ordered. I need to up my quantity. And, the reps, we can help you, change whatever you need. So that's a great tip to use. And it's true. I mean, anymore people are, when they love something, it doesn't matter if it's, 2 months out. They will jump on it,
Especially when it's limited supply. If you think about how people buy things. We always tell people in sales, we want you to hold the puppy, right? Because as soon as you hold the puppy, you're going to take that puppy home with you. And so what this does is it creates a supply and demand, too. Yeah. I've got these glitter twig trees that are coming in. They've got new LED lighting. They can go anywhere. They're battery packed. But I'm only going to get in 12. So you gave them a puppy, and you took the puppy away. What do people do when you take the puppy away?
I want it.
I want that puppy. they want it right now.
Yeah.
So she did that, and I don't even know if she realized that's how she was selling. But she knew it was working, and she wanted to keep that going. And she's like, we've been in business for years. We've never had a year like we did last year. And we heard that over and over. And of course, in Atlanta, I know you couldn't come to Atlanta, and we were not expecting as many stores to show up.
Yeah.
We took appointments and everything, but everybody that was there was raving about what a great year they had. And I thought, well, I guess if you had a bad year, you stayed home. Maybe. But a lot of the people that were coming in were telling us these great stories. And this one lady said, I had inventory in the back room that was ugly. She said, I even got that stuff out. I sold everything.
Well, and this year, hey, for all you retailers, in case you're not aware, it is really important to get your quantities in and everything, because the reality is we are still dealing with pretty much every vendor that I've heard of and know of is dealing with a supply and demand juggle. We saw a picture a few days ago of seeing all the freighters lined up waiting to dock, and so make sure that you are getting your quantities in, and so that your quantities can be pulled and set aside, because it's important.
You touched something there, because we take the orders in January and people think, well, maybe I should wait. And maybe I shouldn't add to the order, or I should put this in there. There's 4,800 pieces, maybe, of one certain thing that we've committed to. And then the next run's going to be 4,800 pieces. And the buyers and the purchasing agents are looking at that too, and they're going, nope, we sold out the 4,800 pieces, it's gone. Or then, maybe they're like, we sold 4,800. Yeah, we think the demand's going to be there for that product. Let's go ahead and bring in another 4,800. It's a big gamble right now trying to decide which ones they're going to be bringing back in. And so if you're kind of sitting on it, don't sit too long, because it might not be there for you.
Yep, make sure you make your decisions.
Take the puppy away from me right now. Just take the puppy.
Make the decisions. All right, do you see any trends, product trends going on?
Yes, I am seeing, for Melrose, talking just specifically for Melrose, one of the things that we're seeing is that a lot of the vendors did sell through all their inventory in 2020 towards the end. Fourth quarter was really good. A lot of states opened up. People knew that they needed to support local, and so they ran in and they spent their money there. Yep. And that's fantastic, because that means that you can replan, redo your store and everything. We are seeing, and it's kind of different, it was different from Dallas than Atlanta than Vegas.
Okay.
And you see different trends that come through on those reports. But one of the things that I saw is the popular items that were priced well in each collection rose to the top of the list. No doubt about it. Like that sled table is up there. Those red lanterns, they're up there. Those things are going to be right up there. But then you got into, why is this item trending? And we got to looking at the top 100 or the top 200 items. And I told you one of the things that I saw were things that had texture, that you could touch, feel, had something on it. That seemed to be a big selling point, and is very popular. And I think that it just adds a little bit of quality anyway. If you've got an embossed surface, or even like those houndstooth poinsettias that have that weave in it, because people would walk up there and they wanted to touch that weave because it feels cool. It's got like a little soft thing around the edge, and then the actual, I don't even know what kind of material it is on the petals themselves, but it made them popular, more popular than a flat velvet poinsettia that was in a tree, something like that. But when you really looked at the top 200, we also saw that stores were reordering the good standby type products, the ones that have been bestsellers in the past. Why? Because they're going to sell. Customers are ready to buy them. It's safe. It's a safe thing for them to go in and buy for 2021, that that it's multi-seasonal. You can fill your inventory with it, and you're going to be able to get it pretty quickly. So I did see that happening. You see the cream of the crop in each of the collections kind of rise in there, but then you would see something that's been around in Melrose for the last 5 years, and people were rebuying it. It wasn't just like one person. 600 stores rebought that item.
Yeah.
1,000 stores bought that item. Well, then that's a lot.
And one item, I'm going to tell everybody, I don't care what kind of store you have. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the time of year. You have got to have these things.
Yes, those are hot. And I actually saw some people go, I'm not interested in that. And I thought, they're not interested in it because they don't know how to sell it to their customer.
Yeah, I know it looks like a very basic thing.
It looks like awful. It looks terrible like that. It looks terrible.
It does look terrible like this, but let me tell you the things that you can do with it. I mean, it's magnet. It can go upside down in lanterns. Everything. They are beautiful. They go straight to. These things are everything. Everyone should have them, and we will be posting pictures of how you can use them. But Melrose is also. I mean, they're coming out in new styles now, and you know, I love them in my house. I was so happy to have them for Christmas. And you can use them all year round. So,
well, here's a little tip I'll tell you that somebody told me at the show, and I never thought about this. Even though I've seen those Via Flames for 2 years, it didn't cross my mind that you could do this with it. They have the USB charger, and you think, great. You can charge them all up every once in a while, then you can put them back in place, right? And then this gentleman said, that's not how we do it in our store. We just went on to Amazon and we bought these multi-port cords. And so we just bury the cords into the wall. We put the Via Flame out there. We never unplug them. We never recharge them. They always sit in place. They come on by the timer, on and off, and they're perfect.
Yeah.
And I think, oh, yes, why didn't I think of that? Like, here I am taking mine over, charging them someplace else, taking them back, you know, and I'm thinking, how is this person so much smarter than I am? But it's a wonderful thing. If your stores have not watched the Via Flame success story video, it's over on YouTube and it's on Vimeo. Go watch it. Because that's a true story. And that store, all they did is they really kind of just expanded. They were gifted decor and they got into bereavement. You know, how many times have garden centers were really hot this year, by the way. All of our garden centers did great in 2020. People were at home. Garden centers are starting to bring in gift decor. Gift and decor starting to bring a little bit of garden center in. It's okay to get you know, kind of branch out a little bit according to what's going on in the world. And so that particular store got into bereavement a little bit. You know, it wasn't a florist. You know, we think florists, they generally deliver the bouquets and the wreaths and the, you know, things for the casket or whatever, you know. But he was getting into the bereavement lantern and had huge success with it in a small town in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah, we did post that video also on our page, but we'll repost it again because it is a great story with great ideas. And
people, real people with real stories that really work for them. And I was so happy for them. I was happy, like, for the lady that was figuring out how to sell stuff before it ever came into her store. Fantastic. You know, I mean, great. Everyone should do that.
I know. I mean, it's just been amazing watching everybody be so creative and, you know, brainstorming and sharing their ideas and, you know, everybody kind of working together, banding together to keep small business, you know, alive and moving. So thank you so much for all of your tips and your wealth of knowledge.
Something. It's a wealth. I'm not really sure if it's a wealth of knowledge, but thank you for giving me that credit.
No, you gave us so many tips and tricks. I love it. So now we get to throw you our final 3 questions. I keep on saying I need a drum roll, and I don't get one.
Careful to ask for, because I may say something crazy.
Well, we'll see. Challenge on. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Okay. What is your favorite book, podcast, or blog?
Well, I follow a lot of gardening blogs and podcasts, and I follow a lot of channels. So I do kind of skip around a little bit, but I like following Justin Rhodes on his permaculture, and I have really big gardens. Like, I have, you know, very big, large gardens at my house. And when I'm going through the garden part for Melrose, I'm not kidding when I say, oh, I can see how I can use this, or I've got the perfect place for that. Because I'm gardening all the time, and I just kind of like that. And I feel like that's something I have control of, and especially in the last year, following the gardening and the growing. You know, I like to go from seed to vegetable to seed. I like to go the whole life cycle, and there's just something very rewarding about that for me. You know, and plus I like to eat. So I follow a lot of those kinds of things, which is kind of different.
No,
so it's not business oriented, but I when I'm sitting down, I'm relaxing and clearing my brain, I want to look at a goat out in a pasture that I don't have goats, and I want to watch it, and I want to watch that guy chasing it around with his kids, and I just think it's funny.
Yep. I agree. And gardening, I mean, so many people got into gardening last year. I did more gardening than I ever thought I would do last year. I still have a lot more to do. So I watched a lot of gardening tips and tricks too. but I have a lot more to learn. I'm only on like beginner level.
Don't worry, the internet is full of videos.
Yes, it is. Okay, what is your most important thing in your toolbox? Besides your gardening shovel.
Probably my reading glasses. I can't go anywhere without them. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that one.
Okay, reading
in my toolbox. Probably,
it can be a state of mind, too.
What was that?
It can be a state of mind, too. It doesn't have to be a physical item.
Now you're asking for my state of mind. I'm not really sure about that one either. That does remind me, though, of a book. And I will throw this out there. One of probably the best books I ever learned on how to write advertising copy, and that really helps me when I'm sitting down and I'm stuck on content. It's by Roy Williams. It's called The Wizard of Ads. And it came out maybe 20 years ago. But he talks about, one of the most famous ways to get people's attention is man bites dog, instead of dog bites man. Because you go, what? That's crazy. Now, we live in a world of social media where people are writing headlines all the time that are just gotcha headlines that try to pull you in. And it's kind of become an art form. But for your store, if you're really trying to be professional about it and write some ads, there's several chapters in that book that really tell you how to emotionally connect and how to write in a way or how to talk in a way that makes that emotional connection through your videos or your photos or your posts or whatever it is. You can probably get that at your local library. You can probably check that out. I don't know if it's even in circulation anymore, but it's a good book.
Thank you. That's a great one to look into. All right, last and final question. How do you think retail will continue to evolve throughout 2021?
I think all the people that were thrown into the social media world abruptly and kind of starstruck with it, just kind of like, dazed and confused, are not going to be dazed and confused anymore. And so this year moving forward, you're going to have to be better and be on your game. And you're going to have to improve your copywriting and improve your videos and your photos. And you're going to have to be looking at where am I placing these things? Am I doing it at a time that's convenient for me? Or am I doing it at a time that's good for my audience? And so as you become more of a professional social media placement person, if that's a job title, I think we're going to see that change. And I think you're going to see, first of all, the doors are going to be back open. That's going to happen. I live in Missouri, so we've been open for months. So, I've been open. But as we've seen that, the stores around me haven't shut off their social media. Instead, they've said, you know what, we did really good with it. Let's keep that. Let's keep developing that pool. Let's have the brick and mortar going, but let's just make this a different division of the company.
Yep. Exactly.
And so I think that's going to change and people are going to get better.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I mean, at this point, social media is not going away. It is part of, your business plan at this point. And it's fun. It's been really fun to watch everybody get more comfortable and confident with it and more knowledgeable on how to work it. And I love seeing all the stores and personalities from the people, from the people personality, the personality of the people to the personality of the actual, stores themselves and everything.
And we talked about that. We talked about the product spotlight even from Melrose. But one of the most successful campaigns that I've ever done was one where it was silly. And I just asked silly questions to different employees or staff members. And it might be things like, name 3 things in the top drawer of your bathroom. And they're like, and it seems silly, but the audiences liked it because they were relatable, they were building a relationship, and it was something that was easy. And so when we talk about social media marketing, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just can be something that's relatable. What are you cooking? When you go to the gas station, do you go inside or do you pump the gas? Silly questions. I mean, you're just opening a conversation and people are just kind of going, oh, that person's like me, or, oh, I kind of do differently. But there's some of the more successful campaigns that you can run, and then you can go, by the way, when you're at the convenience store. This week we have Pepsi on sale, too, for $3, so make sure to pick some up, That kind of thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, LeAnn. I so appreciate our conversation today. I loved talking with you. And, keep on... we'll keep on checking in. We'll keep on reposting all of your videos from Melrose. But everybody can also jump on Melrose, social media pages and see everything from there too. And I hope to see you soon. And I'll definitely next show I will see you.
Yay! I will see you in July.
That's right. All right. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. If you are just catching up, rewind. There's so much awesome information in there to catch up on. We will, break out tips and tricks throughout it. And also, we will show that Fia Flame video from the successful store that was just down the street from us in Wisconsin. It's a really great video to check out. With that, join us next week. We have Jamie on next week, who's with Punch Lady Jane, Kelly Green, and Molly and Rex. We're going to talk about all of those great products, and we hope that you guys have an awesome week. All right, talk to you soon.